Servus my motorbike friends, welcome to another episode of Outdoor Stefan's Garage Wrenching. This time in English again because the numbers of viewers are much higher if I try to imitate Arnold Schwarzenegger with his Austrian accent, and the English is still not so complicated that the German viewers cannot understand it. So we have the choice between two different handlebars, the original Harley Davidson tall boy handlebar, almost the same shape like the stock one, just a little bit taller, as the name tall boy would apply, and then a V-Team small ape. I think it's a 14-inch, but I think I'm going to go for the parts and accessory handlebar. Not too tall because I don't like the style and I don't want to do a cable extension, so it should work like this. Plan for today's install is first to remove the instrument cluster to get access to the handlebar clamp screws, then disconnect the cables. First remove the switches with the cables on both sides and then attach those to the new handlebar, and then remove the hydraulic reservoirs, let them rest here, and then change the handlebar and assemble everything. Let's see how it works. We start by removing the two T25 screws on the left and right hand side of the instrument cluster. Lift it a little bit in order to safely remove this bracket. Then we disconnect the three wires on the rear side, and then we're good to go. We disconnect all the electrical connectors for the switch housing, and there's no way that you can mix them up because the left hand side is just a single connector, the right hand side consists of the throttle grip and the switch housing, so they are both together, and just reconnect them in the same way when you're finished. Difficult with just one hand. There we go. And we need to disconnect the heated grips. According to the parts and accessory catalog, there are no heated grips available for the 2019 roadglide CVO, and as we already realized before, that was a lie because the connectors are already here and it's very easy to upgrade your 18 and 19 model year CVO with heated grips. Here we have the cable for the electronic throttle with the connector for the heated grips, and this connector here is for the electronic throttle. Here is the 6-pin electronic throttle connector and on the newer models this is so tiny and small that we don't need to disassemble the whole connector. We can just pull it through the handlebar as it is. In order to remove the left hand switch housing, we need to get rid of the trip cycle switch. Just pull it up a little bit and then with a small screwdriver just pull it out to the left hand side, and that's it. And then we can remove the switch housing. As well a T25. The screws will stay on the front half, but be aware this might fall off. Let's stop a moment, protect the tank, and then continue. Okay, now we are good to remove the left hand grip and the switches. Note that the switch assembly is just kept into place by this very small plastic clip, and this breaks pretty easily, so you have to be very careful not breaking those hinges. And then we can remove the left hand heated grip, feeding the cables on the other side. And then pulling out one after the other. And have it ready for the reinstall. Same with the switch assembly and the cables. So left hand side is almost done. Now it's going to be almost the same on the right hand side, but as we already have heated grips, we need to disconnect the throttle grip first. And then we loosen the switch housing and remove everything just like on the other side. Unfortunately, we can't reuse the rattle killer, but I think I know where there are some more. And once again here, careful with the small plastic hinges. So the brake reservoir stays in place for the moment. First the smaller cable, the switch connectors, and thereafter the electronic throttle grip. Don't use force, feed the cable from the other side. So that was pretty easy so far. And now we are using this cable puller, some tape and some window cleaner, and reinstall all the cables. Okay, I have covered all the sharp edges, and let's see how it works. And it's going to be just the same with the next set of cables. And so we will continue with the left hand side. Now reinstalling the switch assemblies, the switch housings and the grips. And we install the rattle killer right away. Yeah, you have seen the before and after demonstration probably quite some times. Make sure that there are no bubbles or bends. This gap is on purpose. We start with the left hand grip to get an orientation for the bar and shield logo. And we stop because the mailman is coming. Let me just turn this around. So you see there's a groove in here, and so you have the orientation for the left hand grip. And as we still probably need to turn this assembly a little bit, it's too early to fit the throttle grip because we want to make sure that the bar and shield logo is at the same angle on both sides. So we have to delay this until the handlebar is back on the bike. As we don't want to use extension cables, we will try to get as much cable out of the handlebar as possible, so that there are no loose ends inside. Okay, we should be good. Now we are removing the brake lever and the clutch lever assembly. Let them rest here on the protective cloth. Then loosen the clamp screws off the handlebar and then exchange the handlebar. Careful when you use non-road glide handlebars, because they don't have those holes, and so it's difficult to get the clamps mounted. It is a 1/4 Allen socket. And we have to memorize that there's one cable above the handlebar and the other ones are going beneath it. Same with the brake lever clamps on a road glide. As well, this little pin with a corresponding hole here in the handlebar that prevents it with very sharp braking from moving. We're going to use some Loctite, of course. And this torque spec is 21.7 up to 27.1, so I will use 25 Newton meters. Just make sure that it stays in place, and then I'll get the Loctite. Now, as I want to sit as upright as possible, I will put it in the most forward mounting position. As mentioned, the torque wrench is set to 25 Newton meters. And now we try to get the rest back onto the handlebar. Hopefully we don't need cable extensions. Just a loose fit for the moment, and then we will do the fine adjustment in a second. For international viewers, this is the operating switch for the electronic exhaust. Okay, everything is back in place. Now we have to find maybe 1/4 of an inch more hydraulic lines somewhere. Maybe underneath the fuel tank. I hope not, but probably there we can find them. The electric connectors are looking good so far. No extensions necessary, just this thing is a little bit too tight. I found a few millimeters of cable. Now this is fine. Everything is reconnected, and now I need to sit on the bike, test fit it, and then finally install the left hand grip and then the right hand grip, and then we're done. perfect fit so far. Always tighten the upper one first in order to have a very small gap here, and then the lower one. Then we need to reattach the exhaust control switch. It's fit for the EPA compliant, flap operated, electronically controlled muffler. The only way to enjoy a little bit of Harley sound over here in Europe, especially Germany. Don't forget the trip reset switch. And now we do the other side the same way. Like in the Rattle Killer install video, first of all check the orientation of the asymmetric connector, so it needs to go in that way. And now we focus on the orientation of the bar and shield logo. Of course we need to loosen those screws again. Check the throttle grip snapback. Yeah, it's good, and no play at all due to the Rattle Killer. Bar and shields are looking good as well. Just checking the lever position once again. As well, top one first and then the lower one for a better look. Now we reconnect the heated grip. There we go. And then the dash, and then we're ready to go. Well, before the dash, some new cable straps. Okay. New cable straps attached. And now it's just reconnecting the dashboard, and then it's time for a test ride. Once again, careful with the little plastic tab. Completed. Make sure that everything is working, the heated grips and all the other electronic connectors, and then have fun with your new handlebar. I will.